"And what makes you think they won't kill you?" John said again, and Dave's eyes took on something shining, almost beatific. "Because I am one of them," he said. So what did he mean by that? In my last video, I went over the concept of remnant, which also functions as a very important theme within the story of FNAF. Now that the movie is out, I've realized it's a great segue into another important theme in FNAF. Oh my god, my voice. The theme of family. They are home, with me. Dave's voice was coarse, and the large mascot's head slid forward and tilted as he spoke. Their happiest day. "How do we get out?" Charlie placed one hand on the mascot's head and pushed it back into position on Dave's shoulders. The fur felt wet and sticky as though the costume itself were sweating. There isn't a way out anymore. All that's left is family. These are quotes from the book The Silver Eyes, a story in which William Afton poses as a night guard named Dave, who is keeping watch over the mall that was built over top of the abandoned Freddy's location. William is aware that the children don't remember exactly who their killer is. When he's in his Spring Bonnie costume, he's disguised. He becomes one of them, at least in appearance. Furthermore, he imagines himself to be like them in spirit. His soul is, in a sense, bound to this costume, like the children are bound to theirs, because of his immense attachment to the suit. "That's it? You want that?" Charlie stood and approached the mask. "You need this?" she added in a whisper. When the mascot's head was fully resting on his shoulders, the large face raised itself until it was almost completely upright. Dave's eyes opened steadily, glassy and without emotion, like the robots on the stage outside. I helped him create. The voice came from inside the mask, but it was not Dave's, not the pitiful, sour tone they would have recognized. The voice of the rabbit was smooth and rich, almost musical. It was confident, somehow, reassuring, a voice that might convince you of almost anything. Dave cocked his head to the side and the mask shifted so that only one of his bulbous eyes could peer through the sockets. "We both wanted to love," he said in those melodious tones. "Your father loved, and now I have loved." William is proud of his creations. He loves them in his own sick way, the only way he can. In his eyes, this is his perfect family. They are beings that have ascended the limitations of being human and cannot die. He genuinely believes they are better off like this and are happier this way. The same is true in the movie. When the animatronics turn on him, he resorts to yelling at and belittling them like an abusive father. He believes they should be grateful to him. In the fourth closet, the memories of the spirits have become so broken that William has full control of their perception now. It doesn't matter whether he's wearing the suit or not, the children view him as their friend regardless. Similarly, the issue is fixed by changing one of the drawings, representing their memories, to show the truth. The difference in the movie is that Abby is not currently in the spirit realm, unlike Carlton, whose soul had connected directly to the others, bringing him to their realm. In the real world, the effects of Abby's drawing only take place once it is pinned to the wall of the building, because the building is something the children are directly connected to in spirit. The movie makes it clear that Freddy's itself is alive, with objects moving on their own, like the kitchen fan or the door, or the souls messing with the technology and electricity inside the building. When the truth behind William is revealed to the children, the lights activate to shine directly on him, like they're getting a better look as they remember who he is. William's own connection to these children and to this building as well causes it to die with him as he's being spring-locked. Here, William has lost control. That's what his version of love is. It's all about control. He wants to be able to control his victims, and outside of the missing children, another showcase of this is Vanessa. Vanessa is a family member of William's who is related by blood and is still alive, unlike the missing children, and yet they are still the same. Vanessa has also been hurt and manipulated by William into doing his bidding. She is also his victim, and as Abby points out with the children liking Vanessa,
what do they say?
That she's nice.
She is also seen as one of them. Both Vanessa and the dead children spend the movie being unable to escape William's grasp. Since the time those children died and since the day Vanessa was born, they have been under his influence. Thanks to Abby, Vanessa's desire to protect another child from being hurt allows her to defy William and turn on him. And thanks to Abby, the children are shown the truth, allowing them to defy William and turn on him.
You know what's crazy is when Garrett and I were kids, they were like those perfect parents you'd see on old TV shows. Like every night we would sit down together, we'd have family dinner, and we'd hold hands and say grace.
That actually sounds really nice.
Vanessa has never known what it's like to have a family that is kind to her and genuinely loves her. In her mind, William is her only family, and she feels that she has to obey him. She never really grows out of being a child, continuing to be enthralled by the magic of Freddy's, wanting to build a fort with the children and play, and most of all, she continues to be afraid of disobeying her father. Her demeanor rapidly changes as the playful side of her fights with the side that knows better and that Abby should have never come here, throwing what William would refer to as a temper tantrum.
You can do whatever you want with your own life, but if you ever bring Abby back here again, I will shoot you. That's enough! Drop the knife.
We're all for temper tantrums, aren't we, Vanessa? We both know you're not gonna use a gun.
Throughout the movie, despite being scared, Vanessa becomes closer to Mike and to Abby, who is becoming closer with the children. The children, as Vanessa says, don't want to hurt Abby, but their twisted perception thanks to William's control leads them to believing they'll have to kill Abby in order to be close with her. Vanessa, being under William's control in a different way, does not want to see anyone get hurt either, but is also unable to break free on her own.
If he's there, I won't be any use to you, believe me.
Until Abby, being another child in danger, helps her. By the end of the film, the happy drawing of William and his victims, or his quote-unquote family, has been ripped down, and one of the final shots is of a new drawing of a new happy family, being Mike, Abby, Vanessa, and the animatronics, now freed from their abuse. Mike, like Vanessa, spends the film dealing with a trauma in his past relating to child abduction, having been aware it happened but unable to do anything to stop it. Both abductions were also a family, Vanessa in a more metaphorical sense, but Mike in a literal sense. While Vanessa and the children have William in their lives, Mike and Abby also face their own abusive, authoritarian family member in the film, being Aunt Jane. Jane, too, is trying to have control in these siblings' lives and tries different things like hiring Max and Jeff, who, by the way, are also pointed out to be siblings.
Screw you, lady. My sister went over every inch of that dump 1,000 times.
Max? Her brother?
Mike and Abby are freed from the abuse of Aunt Jane when she's taken care of. By the way, I totally have a theory that she's not actually dead, but that's for another time, and can live their lives happily, at least, for now. Back to that note of the building being alive, when Mike has his dreams of his brother's abduction while at Freddy's, he also connects in spirit to the building. Another concept in FNAF is the dream world being directly connected to the spirit world. This is shown in stories like Somnophobia from Tales from the Pizzaplex, or even directly stated in Tiger Rock. The pizzeria is so haunted it's sort of become its own spirit realm that Mike is linked to through his dreams. That's why the sound of Mike's dream can be heard coming through the speaker behind him.
Did you see that car? You see what happened?
In his final dream, it's revealed that the kids want Abby. This is, as Vanessa says, them wanting to make Abby one of them.
They want to make her like them.
Mike has to let go of the family he lost and cannot save in order to start focusing on the family he still has in the present and can save. In the end, Abby doesn't end up becoming one of the animatronics, but William does. When the spring locks go off, this is the beginning of William's transformation into literally becoming one of them. Because the children died in the suits of the animatronics, they became those animatronics. William is aware the same will happen to him, declaring that he will come back.
I always come back.
You can argue over the inclusion of this line feeling shoehorned in all you want. I'd even agree, but I will defend the delivery of it. He says it quietly because he's more so talking to himself. In the face of death, he's reassuring himself that he won't actually die. Overall, this film has a lot to do with no longer letting your past control you and focusing on what matters in the present. Mike almost lets Abby die, Vanessa almost lets Mike die, and the children almost let all of them die. But each of these cases are because of trauma, manipulation, and abuse in which someone is there for them and allows them to overcome it, being or becoming the family they've actually needed all along.
And we'll be here when you wake up.
Did this movie portray this idea perfectly? I would guess not, given a lot of people don't seem to understand this aspect, but as a longtime fan who has always been more interested in studying the themes and morals of the story, I was able to pick up on it pretty quickly. I love this movie for what it does and I appreciate its happy ending. I'm interested in where the sequel will go and whether it will delve more into the same theme or decide to go in a very new direction and leave this one feeling more self-contained. Maybe Vanessa will get to live happily with her newfound family, or maybe she'll turn into Vanny. I don't know. I guess that's all I really have to say. If you've watched to this point, then my unironic, legitimate prediction is that the Mimic will show up in movie 3. Bye!